Diane, I decided to take it upon myself to start recapping TV shows on a weekly basis. I see other YouTube channels doing this, and I think this is something my channel can benefit from. Granted, I don't really do weekly recaps of TV shows. I mostly do troll trailer breakdowns and videos about how the Joker and Batman disappoint me from time to time. It took a while for me to decide on what show I'd be recapping every week, and as luck would have it, Twin Peaks is back. Now, this might be a weird one to start off with. It was a big show, it has a strong following, but none of those people watch my channel. So some of the regulars who watch my shit are probably very confused about what the hell this is all about. But goddammit, Diane, I love Twin Peaks. It was a great show, it had a great mystery, a rich cast of characters. It was David Lynch at his David Lynchiest. Okay, maybe that's not true. But still, I really love the series and I'm glad it's back. As we all know, the second season after they wrapped up Laura Palmer's murder kinda dipped in quality. A lot. It got better toward the end, but still, we were left with a cliffhanger, Diane. A cliffhanger that the movie, Fire Walk With Me, did not solve. But here we are again. How many years later?
25 years.
Right, 25 years. Diane, I watched the first 2 episodes tonight, and I have to say, I'm hooked. Now, I was kind of expecting a soft reboot, something like Scream 4 or Star Wars, Force Awakens, or Jurassic World, where it is in continuity after the original takes place, but it's more or less a remake. I thought it was just going to be another murder mystery that brings the town together, maybe focus on some younger characters, the old characters pop in once in a while. But no, the show delivers, and it is a full continuation. We even get to see what evil Dale has been doing for the last few years. Those of you who might not remember, Dale was trapped in the Black Lodge in the last episode, and Bob took his place. Now, Diane, I was expecting Bob to use the Dale persona to kind of get away with murder, seeing how he was an FBI agent. And there seems to be a little bit of that. But it turns out Bob just wants to be like a dirty crime lord who wears a leather jacket. It was actually kind of funny. But fear not, Diane, we also find out what happens to good Dale. He's still trapped in the lodge, but he has a way out now. The lodge wants Bob back and Dale out. Bob swears he's not going back. Him and his weird ragtag group of criminals are somehow going to help him do that. Diane, I'd like to note that in his phone call to a mysterious person, he assumes it's Philip Jeffries, the David Bowie character from Fire Walk With Me. Now, if you remember that film, that scene is kind of awful and should have been cut out because it amounts to nothing. But in the deleted scenes, the way it was originally shot, it was actually pretty cool. It was sequel bait for a future film that would never happen, and sadly, this will probably be the only time we ever hear of Philip Jeffries because David Bowie is now gone. But the point is, I think the main story here is how is Dale going to replace himself with Bob in the Black Lodge. But never fear, we have other characters from Twin Peaks all about. Lucy and Andy have gotten married. James, who you might remember, Diane, was the worst part of Season 2. He's back, and his head looks as weird shapen as ever. We also have... who else do we have? Ben Horn, Shelley Johnson. I'm interested to see if they explain whatever happened to Leo Johnson. Last time we saw him, Wyndham Earle tied him up to a bunch of spiders. I think the spiders might have gotten him. What else was there, Diane? Ah, yes, the Log Lady. The Log Lady is not doing well, Diane. She kind of looks terrible. But she's here to help Chief Deputy Hawk find Dale. It's going to be real interesting. They go back to where the Black Lodge is, but as you remember in the last season, the Black Lodge exists in a time and space, so he has to wait for it to appear. And it looks like it's that time. I'm trying to think of other characters of note who return. The Giant, Mike, and the Arm are all back. Kind of. Diane, if you remember a while back, it was reported that the actor who played the dwarf slash the man from the other place slash the Arm is not very fond of David Lynch these days, accusing him of being a rapist pedophile. The show cleverly writes him out by turning him into an electric tree with the weird Muppet brain. He kind of looks similar to the baby in Eraserhead, which is pretty funny. He even sounds something... it's bad. It's weird. But good weird. There are some other terrifying things in this, Diane. There is a plotline about Matthew Lillard murdering someone, which at first seems completely disconnected from everything else going on. Turns out it's related to Bob. But Matthew Lillard is crying in the jail cell, and the camera pans over, and there's just a creepy bum who turns out to be some weird demon thing whose face floats away. It was the most disturbing thing I saw the whole night. One of the other plot lines is about a man and Madeline Zima, who I loved in Californication, and since then she's only been in shows that I will never watch. Glad to see her again. Looking at a glass case, studying it with cameras, waiting for something to appear. And when it does appear, it also looks like a horrifying demon who just shreds their face. Diane, I want to mention that the original Twin Peaks was sometimes a parody of soap operas. This new season parodies what's going on in TV now. It makes fun of a lot of like HBO and Starz shows, which have a lot of gratuitous nudity, a lot of horrific violence, cursing left and right. This is stuff that would have never been on the original Twin Peaks show, or even the movie for that matter. It gets pretty brutal, kind of disturbing. I don't know how they're going to balance out the comedy later in the season that the old show had, because it's pretty grisly. Keep thinking of the glass case storyline. I think the person is sent there by the government agency that Bobby Briggs' father worked with in the original show. I think they expect Dale's return. I think they know how to make it happen, and I think this glass case is involved. It'll be interesting to see how this plays out, seeing how Dale is in the case at the end, and it seems that he's present for their murder. Does he have something to do with it? Is it a different entity altogether? We won't know. Diane, I can't wait to see you next week and talk more about Twin Peaks. This video is probably not going to do well, but I think it'd be good practice for other shows that my fan base might like down the line, like Ash vs. Evil Dead or The Flash or something. I really hope they enjoy it. I hope they enjoy this. And I hope I enjoy the rest of Twin Peaks. See you next time, Diane.